Hey guys, it is Maggie Listeners here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Had a good one myself. It was a slow day at work. I came home feeling pretty drowsy that I almost took a nap, which is very rare of me. I never take naps, and when I almost did, instead my body just conserved some energy, so I was able to stay awake throughout that period. But yeah, anyway. All right. So, question I got for you guys is how many of you guys watching me have a college degree or are attending college right now as we speak, resuming your education after high school studies? Well, just curious because as for me, something about me, I did not go to college after high school. Instead of resuming education, I decided to start working immediately. And my reason for that is because I do not want to consider going to college unless it's for a dream career. You know what I mean by that? It's just because a lot of people in the world do not take college degrees serious. They just go to, get a degree of some kind and get a job afterwards as a way to make money. And jobs that they don't always seem very happy with. You know what I'm saying? But it's a way to benefit them, support them throughout their lives, living independently and whatnot. But yeah. And that brings to where I'm going to talk about, my work stories and leading to where I'm at right now with my resume, with my job history and everything. First, I'll talk about the summer job that I've gotten to work for every summer since 2014 going until 2020, until after I graduated. In 2014, I turned 13, I became a teenager, and I started working for my family business. My grandmother runs a farm stand every summer for the past few decades, ever since my great-grandparents weren't able to run it anymore, and she took over for that. And when I was 13, she started having me work there as a way for me to make some money part-time, and it was a good experience, gaining some independence for myself, at that young of an age. And that was the summer after I finished elementary school, entering that new chapter of life, starting junior high and becoming a teenager. Ooh, quite a step in that direction, right? But yeah. And that's how it was every summer, where I'd get some kind of raise every year. And then at the age of 16, I'd start getting paid minimum wage from that year that the minimum wage was where I live. I know it's different everywhere else in the States and in the world, but yeah. And so yeah, that went on every summer until after 2020. I mean, after graduating high school, I did work one more season at that job. And by the way, this cucumber farm stand is only a seasonal job. It's only open from early August to late September. So that's like a month out of the summers, 1 full month of work for me. But only after graduating high school, I went on till the end of the farm season ended that late September. And after that is when I started to, consider looking for work instead of resuming my education. Because like I said, I did not know what I wanted to do, and I did not want to have to go to college to spend a lot of money on something that I did not know if I was going to do for the rest of my life, if that's what I wanted to do with my life, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyway, so the first thing I looked into, something basic actually I looked into, was, with no experience, was fast food. Started applying, fast food places around where I live. And at some point, actually, my parents' friend, who's a manager at a casino, recommended a busser job for me to work at that casino. There was more than one restaurant there, and I thought about it, and I decided to go for it. Putting in a good word for me and everything. And I went through the interviews and everything. They liked what I had to hear. They liked what I had to hear, what I had to tell them about stuff. And however, due to it being COVID got to a crazy step, and the hiring process ended up freezing. And instead, I got a call back from a fast food place I applied for that I took, and they interviewed me, and I took that job for a bit. It was at Dairy Queen. And you gotta love blizzards, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Probably the best fast food place you can go for, like, just an ice cream. A common joint, you know what I'm saying? That they have everywhere in the world. Anyway, that a job like that cannot really get you that much in life, I guess. Working minimum wage, and I was never even given a full-time schedule there, probably because I had spent so much time training. I just come in whenever they wanted me to, and I'd leave whenever they told me I could go. And yeah, I didn't even get to I didn't even get to make the ice cream. I was in charge of making the food, such as there was the burgers, and we didn't fry the burgers. There was some kind of machine of some sort that did, cook the burgers for us. And I was in charge of frying the fries, the chicken tenders, the onion rings, and something they have called cheese curds. And another thing is, it was during COVID, of course, and so the dining room was never open, so none of us had to worry about cleaning the dining room or the bathrooms for that matter. So I was fortunate enough to avoid doing that. And I'd stay at shifts to where I'd end up helping to close. Some shifts were like in the middle of the day. And yeah, so nothing really, and that job lasted me 3 months because I ended up getting a call back from the casino I applied for saying they wanted to move forward with me. So that's what I did. And I did not really form any close bonds with anyone at that DQ, and just looked back at it I meant to say, I moved ahead and did not look back, really. So not really much to say out of that, except, you know what? There is actually one good story that comes out of me working at Dairy Queen there. I didn't form any close bonds, but there was one guy that I did talk to frequently, regularly, here and there. And the thing is, he would ask me and some of the others for free rides to his home. And when I'd give him some and the rest of us would give him some, I was not sure to do it at first because I told my parents and they told me that maybe it's okay to do it here and there, but make sure that he doesn't take advantage of me giving him free rides all the time, that. And it's totally fair if you ask me there, right? But I had gotten to hear his life story. The truth is, he was living in a motel room with his 2 young sons after his wife had just ran away from them without a trace, really. And they didn't really have much to get by, so he'd work at Dairy Queen with us, and sometimes if he didn't have like a ride to get home, he'd actually walk home, which probably took him at least an hour, especially late into the night after he closes the shift, And so when my parents, told me to make sure to not let him take advantage of these free rides, I told him that I can't be giving you free rides all the time, stuff like that. And that night, when I told him that night when I thought I actually was going to give him a free ride home, he ends up actually walking home, not bothering me about it. And the next day, when I told my parents this, and when I told my parents his story, they felt horrible. And so, and yeah, like behind my back, actually, one night they both go out to see a friend, and along that way, they actually go to the Dairy Queen I worked at to talk to him and tell him how very sorry they were for misunderstanding him, not hearing his story. And to make it up to him, my mom went to get clothes for his 2 young sons as a way to help him out, to give back to him after misunderstanding him, not treating him well. And that felt good to do. It does feel good, to help those who are really in need. And that's really the only good, interesting thing that came out of me working at that fast food place. So it wasn't all for nothing. I got to help out someone in need, and that was great. Anyway, coming up next, I started working at that casino as a busser. The thing is, I was underage, but they allow minors to work there as long as they don't handle the alcohol or the games. So I was bussing tables to where, I'd handle the food, just the cups that didn't have alcohol in it, The restaurants that the casino had were like a sports bar, a regular, casual restaurant, and an Asian cuisine place. And typically I'd just be, cleaning off the tables and bringing them to the dishwasher in the kitchen to where they could, clean up everything. And that went on for a while. Like the first few months, I worked kind of a decent schedule going from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with 30-minute lunch breaks that were actually paid. That's a good advantage. And actually, they had the break room, the lunchroom actually had pre-made food for all the employees who didn't have a lunch. So yeah, they make free food for us too. That's great. It differed each day, and that was good for a while. And after a few months, we became short-staffed, and my schedule was changed to some kind of swing shift schedule that I absolutely hated. Working from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. I had Fridays and Saturdays off actually, which are like the busiest days of the week at the casino, so that was great. But the schedule I had, I despised so much because it did not give me the time to make plans outside of work on the days I do work. And so the only free time I'd have to make plans were on my work weekends, Friday and Saturday. And that went on for a while longer too. And what else I did was I did like clean up the floors in like some restaurants. I actually served at like a small snack stand, and I'd watch some people be playing games. And hearing the noise of the casino, the slot machines and games and everything would get annoying after a while. The people I worked with there, everyone was much older than me. There was rarely anyone there around my age. And just those who were around my age, they were in different fields, different positions, departments. So I wasn't able to form any close bonds there, but it was still good to talk to people who were older than me. We had some things to talk about and everything. At some point, I couldn't take it anymore, and my schedule became even worse, to where I finally put in my 2-week notice. And 2 weeks later, I left that place and I never looked back. That was in March of 2022, and I have not gone back to that casino since then. Not once. Because a casino is not my kind of environment to be at. I did not see myself gambling, putting my financial life at risk because of that. Do my best to save up and to be smart with my money and everything. But one thing that I do to test my luck when it comes to making money is I go to a grocery store or a gas station, and whenever I do make each of those visits, I buy a $1 scratch ticket to where I can win, say, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, test my luck at that. The most I'd ever won was probably $5. Yeah, I can't remember everything, but yeah, that's pretty much all there was to it. I mean, that's probably a pretty moderate way to, spend a bit of your money to test your luck. It hasn't treated me badly. I'll be sure not to invest too much into luck, Anyway, after that, I decided to get myself into warehousing because of that farm job I had. One job that I had on Sundays, every Sunday working at that farm, was driving a forklift and moving some crates and pallets around that had, like produce and all that stuff. And even my parents suggested it, so I thought, why not? Find a warehouse, because warehouses even pay decently well. But the thing was, I had certain preferences when it came to, like pay, benefits, schedule especially, and distance from home. And for the next 4 months, I had been looking at interviewing places and recruiters and stuff like that. My parents even got on to me about how I shouldn't have preferences like that when it comes to looking for work, and it makes sense. But fortunately, in the end, I interviewed a place. I told them I think about it, and I decided, no, this fits just about every one of my preferences. So I told them I want to move forward with you. I told a recruiter that, and on my 21st birthday, as I was at the airport getting ready to go to Vegas, I got a text from that recruiter saying that this job wants to move forward with me. So it was amazing. It was a great news for me on my 21st birthday. I wasn't just going to Vegas to celebrate turning 21 at a golden nugget on my golden birthday, especially. I was getting a job finally. And I'm still working at that warehouse to this day, 2 years later. And It's really treating me well. It's probably my favorite job I've had out of all the jobs I've worked. And that says a lot because, yeah, the people there are great, the pay is great, the benefits are great, the schedule's great. It's a 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. schedule with an hour-long lunch break, and that's perfect. I like to get work out the way, you know? And that way I can just have the rest of the day off to do whatever I want, make plans. Even if it means like, waking up early in the morning, but that's fine because I guess I'm not too much of a night owl. Yeah, I like to make sure I'm in bed at a certain time, not too late, but stuff like that. So it feels like I have a school schedule because, yeah, I'm working morning to afternoon, and it's Monday through Friday. Weekends are closed too. The warehouse is closed on weekends. So yeah, I feel like it's like a school schedule. I mean, there could be a bit of overtime here and there. It depends if they want me to stay to like help out for something, but that's pretty rare. But yeah. So that's my job history. I definitely say I have a pretty good looking resume, especially since I have a good, reputation back when I was in high school, because I never once had detention in my life, and I've always gotten good grades. I was always an honor student. Even though I don't like apply myself too much to what I've studied in school anymore. I'd just be one of those students that memorized and forgot, which is very common among students these days, But yeah. Anyway, one thing I want to talk about when it comes to college is that, like I said, it's expensive, and also the studies are advanced. And if I do apply myself, I'm sure I could do it, but it'd be hard. It's very time consuming, and you wouldn't really have free time to do as you please that much. Really, college is for anyone who wants to study whose dream career is such a big career, such as being a doctor, being a lawyer, stuff like that. I'm sure there's more to it, but I haven't really gotten to study that much of that. What fields that pay a lot of money require college, stuff like that. A bachelor's and associates, more than that. A medical degree. And yeah, my parents have actually suggested for me before to attend trade school, which is actually, a lot of people are debating if that's actually better for people to take than college. But like I said, I don't want to go back to school for something I don't consider a dream. And that would include trade school, because that does take some time out of your hands to, get to where you have to be in that field. Even though if it pays you a lot, but it's not something you like to do, then, well, that's not easy. If I all of a sudden want to make a career change, like put all that effort behind and wasted, well, of course, I can't predict everything that I'm going to want in life. Here's what I'll talk about. Life is uncertain. Of course, some things you might change your mind about, some things, stuff like that, but I want to be sure. I mean, I'm praying to know what his plan is for my life, stuff like that, God's plan, and doing my best to do it at that. And yeah, just trying to think about what to say next. Just give me a sec. Yeah. Oh yeah. So these days, I'm really just trying to take things day by day. I have not really thought too hard about what it is that I want to pursue next, because I have it going pretty well right now. But I realize that where I am right now is not where I want to be forever. I'm 23 and I'm still living with my parents in their basement where they're charging me rent. And in the next year or so, I actually want to consider moving out, living out on my own independently. But I have no idea how I can do that by myself. If my job isn't enough to support myself, well, I'm sure it will be if I find a roommate to live with. Maybe two, to make it easier like that. That way I won't be entirely alone. I can have some company, And just for the record, yeah, I don't want to live with my parents forever. I'm sure my parents don't want me to live with them forever. We want to go our separate paths, and it's fair. And I'm just hoping that they'll help me every step I need. I don't want my parents to keep holding my hands to get me through passing life for the rest of my life. No, I want to be taking some paths by myself without their help. But In the meantime, I'm just going to have them teach me everything I need to know about living on my own, being independent. You know, one good advantage is that my mom is a real estate agent, so she'll definitely know how to find me a great home to live in, a house especially. About my own place, that'd be awesome. I mean, living in an apartment just makes it harder for you to save up to live in your own home, in your own house. Living in an apartment means you're paying other people's bills. But living in your own home means you're paying your own bills, mortgage and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, that's all there really is to say. You don't need college to live a successful life. You can do anything you want. If you apply yourself to what you believe in, then if you stick to what you believe in, then you'll succeed at life, guaranteed. Just don't ever lose hope. Don't ever lose faith and stuff like that. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I've been taking things day by day, not really thinking about it, but from now on, I got to start really thinking, doing my research on what it is that I actually want to do. Even if it means having to make some certain sacrifices, you know, because that's part of life too. Sometimes it may feel scary, but you shouldn't let fear hold you back. Just take a deep breath and that everything will work out like it's supposed to. We'll just see. It may be sad sometimes, but it'll be worth it in the end because it's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. That's all there is to it. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for your support. And I'll be sure to catch you guys again soon. It's great. It's great to, you know, get a lot of things off my chest, for you guys to listen to me, hear me out, and to give me your thoughts too, about what you could be struggling with when it comes to deciding what you want to do in life. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be sure to catch you guys again real soon. God bless you all.